GameCentral readers name the games they've had the best value for money from, including everything from Overwatch to Elite Dangerous. With all the controversy surrounding loot boxes at the moment, the subject for this week's Hot Topic tried to find more positive examples of spending money on video game. But the topic wasn't just concerned with how much you paid for the game, but how much you got out of it, and how long you ended up playing it for. The orange box and its 5 classic games probably should have been disqualified for being just too much of a bargain, but there were plenty of examples of other games that people have played for a long time or were just impressed they didn't have to pay more for. If there's one thing I hate in modern gaming, it's not loot boxes or microtransactions. It is actually, I'm just trying to be funny here, it's games that insist on telling you how many hundreds of hours you've spent playing them. I don't actually know if you can check it on Rocket League, but I'm definitely not going to check, or I think I'll end up feeling very guilty about it all. It's got to be at least 300 hours though. I love that game and play it several times every week, and yet it was completely free when it came out on Rocket League originally. That obviously worked for them, considering its success now, but of course that's not the sort of thing evil publishers like EA or Activision try to copy. No, why copy something that is proven to work and isn't a rip-off when you can invent something new and evil that you've no idea will work and is likely to make everyone hate you as soon as they find out about it? Thank God for games like Rocket League, which I'm very happy to spend a bit of microtransactions on. It feels like giving a tip for a job well done. Grant best value for a game. Well, I'm going to go back. How far way back? I remember reading a review for Super Mario Kart on the SNES, and one of the low scores were for longevity. I think it got like 89%. Still loved Mean Machines though. Now, I think this was because they never actually completed the game. As I remember rightly, 150cc wasn't open at the start, and you also had to qualify for the Special Cup. Hours, days, weeks and months passed before I completed every different cup to a gold standard. And don't forget there was an awesome 2-player game too, and all for the handsome sum of £39.99. I defy anyone to beat that. Lastly, guess what the first game was that I fired up on my mini SNES? Stone Cold Steve Austin. GC, was it Kirby's Dream Course? My best value game of all time would have to be the 72p I paid for The Witcher 3 on PC through an Amazon misprice and redeemed via GOG. Although by the time I had spent £68 on a 750T graphics card and £20 on an Xbox 360 PC controller, it wasn't the bargain it started out as. However, for me, The Witcher 3 was the game that rekindled my interest in gaming, as my PlayStation 3 had been relegated to nothing more than an overpowered Blu-ray player. Although I still haven't finished it, I know at some point I will return to complete what is one of the best games of all time. Evil Homer 666 PSNID. Email your comments to GameCentral@acmetro.co.uk. I've put more than 800 hours into Overwatch, which seems a lot to me, but I'm sure isn't especially long compared to some Uber fans with loads of time on their hands, i.e. students. But the question here is value for money, and for me that 800 hours is fantastic considering I'd only paid £30 for the game. With all the talk about with loot boxes at the moment, which I totally agree with in principle, I haven't bought any for Overwatch, and yet I've been able to play the entire game for as long as I like. There's no hidden content that isn't cosmetic, and a steady supply of new characters, modes, and maps. I don't even understand why anyone buys the loot boxes. Not in a loot boxes are just rip-off gambling kind of way, but it's a first-person shooter. What's the point of buying skins when you can't even see what you look like? I don't get it. I can see everyone else's skins, which is all nice enough, but I get that for free too. Like I said, great value for money. Ishii, I picked up Super Smash Bros. Brawl for the Wii for £9.99 from Tesco. I think whoever put it at that price didn't know what it was. To be fair, neither did I, but 1,000 brawls later I had more of an idea. Game actually sent me and Bowser Jr. a message telling us we were very committed at that point. I did wonder how many we had to do before we got a parental guidance. There is a real world out there message. Bowser, it's Resident Evil 4 on PlayStation 2 for me. The GameCube version had the bonus mission and assignment data, and the brilliantly addictive Mercenaries mode. But when the game came to PlayStation 2, we were treated to extra outfits, including a ridiculous suit of armor for Ashley, a new weapon, and 5 extra chapters playing as Ada in separate ways, including a new level involving you destroying a battleship, last year's Model 09 PSN. And for me this is a toss-up between Bayonetta and Bloodborne. They only really have one thing in common, beyond being Japanese and starting with the letter B, and that's that they are absolutely stacked full of content and all of it is there in the game, free for you to unlock. Bloodborne has a DLC expansion, but that also is excellent value for money. I remember beating Bayonetta for the first time and being really quite shocked at how much free content there was to unlock. Real game-changing stuff like all the weapons and special items. And this was a few years ago before microtransactions are what they are today. The sad thing is it was one of the last games that was like this, a throwback to earlier generations when DLC didn't exist and it was either on the card or not. Bloodborne, and the other Dark Souls games, are similar. The amount of hidden stuff that other publishers would make you pay through the nose for are amazing. Again, you don't really realize how much there is until you beat the game and find out just how much you've missed out. Amazing games that I feel like I got every penny out of. It also made me really like the companies that made them and support future games. I don't see why companies like Activision don't realize that what they're doing has the opposite effect. Cribbin's the best value game I've ever bought. Simple the Orange Box. Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, Half-Life 2 Episode 2, Portal, and Team Fortress 2. 5 stunning games for the price of 1, incredible value for money. $9 or PSN ID catch up on every previous game's inbox. Here my best value gaming purchase has to be Burnout Paradise. I've bought the game 3 times since its release in 2008, twice at full price, and yet, despite my triple outlay, Paradise has still provided an incredible amount of fun for the money. I've played Burnout Paradise fairly regularly for the last 9 years. It's my designated Saturday fun game and has never lost its appeal. One reason for the game's longevity is that the developers Criterion packed their arcade racer with so much content. Even now, playing the game yet again on Xbox One, I keep discovering hidden shortcuts and unlocking cars I'm sure I've never driven before. I get the impression Criterion love Burnout Paradise as much as I do because over the years they've kept on tinkering with it and a lot of these additions and improvements have been free. I think Burnout Paradise is the very antithesis to all of these exploitative releases that lock away content and try to bleed gamers dry. Criterion's Racer is like an infinite bag of sweets that I never get tired of eating. MSV858 Twitter. Email your comments to GameCentral@acmetro.co.uk. The small print new inbox updates appear twice daily, every weekday morning and afternoon. Letters are used on merit and may be edited for length. You can also submit your own 500 to 600 word 4-player viewer features at any time, which if used will be shown in the next available weekend slot. If you need quick access to the Game Central channel page, please use www.metro.co.uk games and don't forget to follow us on Twitter.